I'm Deirdre with Second Wind Vintage, and today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to refinish Depression era, or actually Depression or earlier era furniture without stripping, sanding, scraping, or any of that business. So I already did it on half of it, and I'm going to show you how to go from this to this. Depression era, so 1930s, 1920s, and earlier antiques were generally finished with shellac. And shellac is a solution of, funny, the things beetles throw up to make their houses, suspended in denatured alcohol. So it's melted down, ground up. A solution is made with the denatured alcohol. You brush it on, the denatured alcohol evaporates, and you're left with a nice clear coating. And for a very long time, that's how people sealed and top coated their furniture. So the lucky thing is, because it's a simple solution of beetle vomit and denatured alcohol, we can reactivate it by reintroducing the denatured alcohol. So all you need for this project is you need denatured alcohol, 4O steel wool, the kind that comes in a roll that's oil free, not the pads that you get at the grocery store. Those are good for cleaning. This is much better for working on furniture. You need a rag. This is dirty because I already started, for wiping, and it's going to be sticky and gross, but not like stripper sticky and gross, but you still need gloves. And I always decant my denatured alcohol out. The first reason is because we're going to soak our steel wool in it, because the more denatured alcohol we have on our project, the easier it's going to be to work with. And if you're just doing this, you're not going to get enough. It's going to be really frustrating. And also, when you do this and you're rubbing, eventually that shellac is going to get backwashed into here. You're going to contaminate your denatured alcohol. If you're just using it for this purpose, that's not so much of a big deal. But if you use it for anything else, it's not the best. And it'll also slowly become more and more the shellac backwash, and it'll be less effective. So, decant. So the first thing we do, we decant into there, which I have already done. And glove up. And these are just regular dishwashing gloves. Latex gloves are porous. They'll probably work for this, but if you're staying near something, just this. And they last like a year. They last forever, as opposed to latex, which rip eventually. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to dip our cut pad of steel wool into our denatured alcohol. Get it nice and wet. We squeeze off a little bit of the excess, and then what we're going to do is we're going to rub it on here. So all we do is reintroduce the alcohol onto here, and we want to work quick. So this is, as soon as it starts evaporating, it's going to start to get sticky again, and when it gets sticky, it's going to pull fuzzies off of this and little metal fibers off of this. So if you see that happening, you just use more denatured alcohol. And if you do get stuff stuck in there, you just go over it with the denatured alcohol and wipe. It'll come right up. So you don't have to worry about that. I have it down like this because I want gravity to work in my favor. I want it to pool. I want it to work on the shellac that's on here. That's why I'm doing it this way. So if you can, lie it down flat. If it's standing up, you'll live. This is much easier. So I'm not pressing very hard. I'm just giving it a light rub, working in sections and wiping off. I'll probably go back over the same section once or twice. And as you can see, it's reviving it. It's coming off a little bit. And you can use this however aggressively you want to. So say you have a nice oak piece from the early 1900s. It's got that crackly thing going on. I really like the crackly thing. But you can't see the grain. And you just want to clear it up and lighten it up a little bit. So you can appreciate both things, both the patina and the age, and the wood as it was intended to be enjoyed. So in that case, you can just rub it lightly until you get the desired look you want, kind of using it like reverse shading, using this like an eraser, leaving the texture and stuff intact and just lightening it up. Or like I'm doing here, you can rub more longer, wipe more often, and completely remove the shellac onto here, instead of just pushing it around and redistributing it and shading it nicely. So I'm just gonna keep on doing that. I rub, I wipe, I rub, I wipe. Go over a couple of times because that's easier than trying to tackle a big area and going back to wipe and getting a bunch of fuzzies. Which again, you just go back over it and they'll come right up, so it's no big deal, but it's annoying. So avoid it, avoid it. Okay. All right. And then these areas, I'm gonna give a light rub too to reactivate and smooth. When you're done doing this, it's gonna be a little bit streaky. And that's fine. We can go back over either with shellac. If you're going to re-shellac it, that's up to you if you want to keep that as your top coat. Or what we can do is give it a very light sand with like 220 grit sandpaper, and then we can put either an oil-based or a water-based polyurethane on it, like if we want to beef it up and give it a little more protection. Because shellac is real pretty. It's really easy to fix if damage happens to it, but damage is way more likely to happen. It's more sensitive to heat, it's more sensitive to the sun. It'll fade eventually, and it's more sensitive to moisture. So like if you got like a piece that's gonna sit somewhere, it's not really gonna, there's no danger of someone putting their drink on it at a party. Go right ahead, you can keep the shellac, it's beautiful. But if it's a buffet or a sideboard, at least for the top, I'm gonna give this guy a nice thick coat of polyurethane so it has the best chance in life. Yeah, so I'm gonna continue messing about with this, get it where I want it to, and then we can come back and I'll show you how to reapply the shellac to at least this part right here, because this has a nice burl and it's going to make it look really nice. But the top, like I said, I'm going to do polyurethane. So I'm going to finish up and we'll be back. All right, so welcome back. So this is finished. The shellac I totally removed with the denatured alcohol. And then what I did was I went ahead and I gave it a coat of oil-based polyurethane. I know I mentioned I was thinking about putting shellac on it. Then I was thinking, well, what if someone trips when they're bringing the drinks? So I decided against it, and I just did polyurethane over the whole thing, which we all know how to do. If you are interested in learning how to do the shellac finish, I do have a video, totally separate video, where I discuss and show you how to do a traditional finish with that shellac. It's called How to Do a Traditional Finish on Wood. But yeah, so I can zoom in a little and you can see how the burl came out and how nice it looks and everything. And literally all I had to do to get it back from that gross mustardy color from before, where I could literally drag my finger across and the finish was coming off, to this beautiful thing right here, was I just rubbed it down with denatured alcohol and 4-0 steel wool, wiped off one wet, and then put a fresh coat of sealer on top. Whole thing probably took me 20 minutes tops, and then another 10 minutes spread out over the day of drying and curing times, etc., etc. to seal it back up. And this is what I got. And you can do this yourself with any piece that's finished with shellac. So I hope you will give it a try next time you come across an older piece from the 30s or before. Just give it a shot, and you can see it's really easy to bring that wood right back. So have fun.